Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Sphinx and you're in the pyramid. Listen, it's been a few days since I've played on the tutorial server. Some real life stuff got in the way, happens, but we gotta look at our tent right here. It's a quality 10, but the damage is 66. This bad boy's gonna fall apart soon. Last time we left off, we had our logs. We were good to go, but in order to build a house, the one thing that we need is iron. And so that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover how to find iron, how to smelt it, and how to build a house. I'm going to do a little bit better with my video editing. I cannot help the quality. I don't know what's going on with that. We're just going to deal with that, but we're going to do pure information. So I'm going to do a little time lapsing here, but if you want to learn how to mine iron, we're going to do that right now. Alright, so normally, like at this point in the game, I like having a little like donkey with me or a little horse, but it seems like we're a little short. I think this is a new house over here. What's this? Dastardly Shed. Welcome into the game, Dastardly. He seemed to have figured it out. He's got proper aesthetics. But we need iron, okay? So let's look at our inventory. What do we got? We have a shaft, we have a mallet, we have a butcher knife. Excuse the wind tile there. We have a brightly glowing mirror. This is for character changing. We have a deed stake. Do we have actually? Let's look at our backpack. Do we actually have a pickaxe? Let's see. Compass, rope. Where's our? We don't. We need a pickaxe. This must be. Hold on. Let's look in our. This is a big deal. Control 3. Where's our pickaxe at? We activated it. Water? Oh, it's our tool belt. We talked about our tool belt. Alright. In our tool belt, we have our pickaxe, our shovel, our carving knife, and our hatchet. So we gotta get some iron real quick, y'all. But to be able to smelt the iron, we need to get some wood. And we're gonna go through that real quick, alright? So, we're gonna cut down this shitty apple tree. We do not like apple trees. Remember, if you see an apple tree, chop an apple tree. It's your civil duty, okay? And our skill's too low, we can't tell what it is, but if we personally examine it, it's an overgrown apple tree. So this is the strongest, oldest apple tree that we can get other than shriveled, which means this is going to take the most effort to get down. But we're going to get a little wood from that, because we're going to need this in our iron smelting journey. Alright, chat? Alright, we got this, don't worry. And if it doesn't, it's not going to come down from this hit, so we're going to let our stamina regenerate, okay? Boom. Stamina's back. Do another chop. It's only a 12-second hit. Don't worry. Alright, we're going to knock this bad boy down. If it doesn't come down on this one, it'll come down on the next one. Alright, one more. Let the stamina regenerate. Chop it again. Chop it again, alright? Boom. We got our log. Perfect. It's only a quality 1, but we got 5 pounds of wood out of that, alright? We're going to walk over to this mountain. Now listen, chat. When we're looking for iron, a lot of the times we're going to have public mines. I can see over here that we have a few public mines. We're going to go check these out. But I want to show you, if you're out on the main server, you might not have public mines lying around, okay? So we have to do what we call prospecting. I hit Control 3. Our pickaxe is activated. And we're going to prospect a few of these tiles right here. You can't prospect dirt, but you can prospect rock. So you'll get, when you get close enough, you're gonna go down to mining and prospect. And we're gonna type. We're chipping at the rock. We're seeing what we can get out of this. Sometimes it's just rock, but apparently there's some zinc nearby. Now, right now we don't need zinc, so we can keep prospecting around. We can keep searching for what we need. All right. We're gonna do this until we find what we're looking for. We're looking for iron. That's going to be your base metal. Iron makes the world go round. Everything else is just fancy caviar. prospect this. We might still just pop zinc because we're very close. There's only rocks nearby, which means that the zinc is more that way than this way. We got a skill that's a prospecting skill. We hit level 2. There are still bells on the ground from the Christmas event. You're going to see those occasionally. But we'll keep walking down this way. Do a little bit further away because we were popping zinc a few times. We'll prospect this one. See what we get out of this. Too far away. We're going to activate climbing by hitting Z. As you can see, our climbing is now activated. We'll climb up a little bit and prospect. What are we going to find? Is it iron? Is it sandstone? Is it rock salt? Let's go back to our events. There's only rocks nearby, so we'll have to keep moving, alright? Now, Wurm is a very old game, which means it won't be too terrible to find mines like this lying around, but sometimes you will have to find it on your own. So let's go in here real quick and check it out. Clearly, we have an like somebody has discovered an iron vein. So we already have this good to go. And we're going to start the process of actually mining this. So all we have to do is, with our pickaxe equipped, all we have to do is mine this bad boy. And what's going to happen is we're going to start getting ore on the ground. Alright? It shouldn't take too terribly long just to get some base stuff going. Boom. If it's an iron ore, then we're going to get, or if it's an iron chunk, we're going to get iron ore. So what do we do with this, alright? We need to process this. This is very important because if we pick this up, we can see that this chunk of ore is 20 pounds. That weighs a lot. So we can take this back to our base, but as you can already see, with only one chunk, our speed is reduced. And that's not going to help us in the long run. Because in the long run, we're going to need more than one little lump of iron. So what we can do is start processing it here. So we're going to take our carving knife, we're going to activate it, and we're going to create some kindling, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a campfire here. This is not the most efficient way to process ore, but when we're first starting out, this is a way to process ore. And right now, we cannot be picky with how we accumulate these essential materials. So we're going to sit here. We're going to make 2 kindling. I always suggest to make at least 2 at once, because at a 50% fail rate, you're going to fail more often than not, even though it's only 50%. So we're going to combine these 2 like we talked about in our last episode. We have 3 pounds now instead of the 1.2. We're going to come and where is our, we are looking for something very important. I think it's in our backpack. Yeah, we're looking for our flint and steel. We're going to activate this to come over here to create a campfire in our furnace submenu. Let's see if we actually get it on the first try. That would be great. Boom! We got it on the first try. So our campfire is going. So now that we have it activated, we can throw the rest of our wood in here to feed the fire, to keep that heat going, and we can also throw our kindling in here as well, because we really don't need that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to mine, let's get 10 chunks out of this. And if future me remembers, we'll fast forward to the past this part, because this is a skill grind game, and so a lot of the time you'll be doing something a little repetitive. But right now we need to accumulate enough iron to be able to build our house, because our tent is falling apart and we need to find a replacement for that. Anyway, cue the montage. Alright, you guys, as you can see, we've mined 10 extra ore. Let's try and throw this all in our inventory and see what happens. As you can see, our personal weight limit keeps us from collecting all of the ore that you see here. So we're going to take this 80 pounds of ore, throw it in the campfire. And from a trick we learned last episode, we can actually directly transfer this pile of ore that's on the ground that's 140 pounds. We can transfer this into the campfire. Now, right now, we'll open up this campfire. Our ore is in it right now, and we can see that it's starting to heat up. You'll see these little icons next to it. Yellow is very warm. The next stage will be an orange-red that'll be dimly glowing, and then the next stage after that is brightly glowing. But we only need to get it to dimly glowing in order for it to process. So now you can see that all of our ore is currently being processed. We don't have to worry about it right now. I'm not too worried about people stealing loot. So as we're waiting for this, and it does take a little bit of time, you guys, but we did throw some wood in there. It's heating up, but as we wait, we can continue processing and mining some more ore. Because there's a few things that we're going to need in order to build our actual house. And so, as you can see, once we started mining, we actually got an update here in our event tab. You have advanced the quest Mallets and Sickles to the stage Melting Things Down, and we can open up our journey tab, or our journal tab, to see what's going on. Now this is advancing in our mallets and sickles. We've already made the mallet. We have to consider our sickle, but let's see how far we've gotten down here. Let's see. Prepare your tool belt and hatchet. Having an item inside your tool belt allows you to use that item to perform actions without having to activate it first. So basically, anything that you put in your tool belt will automatically make you want to interact with that thing. If it's a rock tile or a cave wall, that means you'll mine. If it's a tree and you have a hatchet in your tool belt, that means you'll automatically want to chop it. Now when we complete this quest and we get the sickle, that means we can automatically harvest plants, but that's a little bit down the line. Alright, so let's see. We've chopped our tree. We've cut it into logs. We've created shafts, we've made our mallet head, and then we created the mallet. Next thing, find a source of iron. We happen to do a little cheating for this, but out in the wild, it's just as simple as prospecting the rock ore until you find something that indicates that there's iron nearby. Let me see, and we created some kindling. So right now, we've created a campfire. I'm surprised that this didn't get us a hit here, but we have our campfire and it's now smelting down our lumps. So the next thing is, once we get this iron smelted, we can create our anvil, and this anvil is going to be basically the flux of where all other metal items come from. Eventually we'll need a large anvil, but for the time being we just need the small anvil because that's going to create the necessary ingredients we need to make the house. I don't believe that we had a saw. Oh no, they did give us a saw, so we don't have to make the saw. We don't have to worry about that. But we got our pickaxe, our prospect, and our mining to level 2. So let's check this. Like I said, this part can take a little bit of while, but we see we have our orange now, which is searing hot. The next stage after that is going to be dimly glowing. So as we're waiting for this to heat up, we are just going to mine some more. We're here. We have to wait for this to heat up, so we might as well get a few more chunks of iron to process while we're waiting. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And in this sort of game, you might as well collect XP when you can. And we'll do a clap because we want to do a jump cut here. Alright, chat, we're back. As you can see, our iron ore has hit the second stage of furnacing, which is dimly glowing. And now that all of our iron has dimly glowed, it is broken down into its purified form of an iron lump. Now, the first thing you may notice about the iron lump is that these weigh 100% less. Like, I think it's technically like 98% less. however you want to divide 1 by 20. But what was initially weighing 20 pounds only weighs 1 pound. And we have this purified lump of iron. Now we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this out of the fire into our inventory. So now we have 11 pounds, or in this game it's kilograms, but I'm an American, so we're going to ignore these metric units. And we have 11 pounds of iron lumps processed. We're going to go ahead with the rest of the iron we mined while we're waiting. We're just going to throw this in the fire. If somebody takes this before we collect it, I'm not too worried, honestly. It's not protected, so don't feel like it is. Somebody could run up and take this, but I'm not too worried. But now that we have 11 pounds of iron lumps, the first thing that I want to do, and depending on specific situations you might not want to do this, but if you go ahead and activate the top lump, select all the way with shift click to the bottom lump, you can combine this. This just keeps inventory space less clustered. So let's see here. We're going to open up our crafting menu. We're going to see our journal asks us to create an anvil. This button, after we activate, will bring up recipes. So let's type in anvil. Now as you can see, there's tons of recipes that come up. I'm going to expand this just for the sake of observation. Most of this is it's the same thing, but with different metals. We're concerned right now only with the small anvil and iron. So let's see where that is. We got it right here. We're going to expand this. This needs a mallet and then 2 kilograms or pounds of iron. And I believe we have this. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to drag our iron lumps into our crafting menu. We're going to look for the mallet that we created last episode. Throw this in. And right here, with a 45% chance, we can craft the anvil. Not guaranteed, but it's basically just a time gate. We failed. We just have to try it again. And every time you fail, even though it is mostly an time gate, every time that you fail, you will lose a little bit of the source material. So anytime you craft something, make sure that you have more than you need in order to create it. So we'll go ahead and try it again. Boom. Got our anvil. Perfect. Now, I suggest placing this down at your base, but right now, just for an observation and learning purpose, we're just going to throw this on the ground here. We're going to go down to one of our options as drop. We can drop it on the ground if we don't care where it goes specifically, but we can also choose this option place. Once we do that, we have an option to place it anywhere it comes up green. Obviously, if we try and place it somewhere that's too far from us, it'll come up red, but I think right here next to this campfire is fine. Now, you can keep this in your inventory if you wish, but aesthetically I like it on the ground. We're going to close out this crafting recipe. We're going to right click it, and as you can see, there's an option for us to add it to the crafting menu. Boom. We do that, and we have our small anvil, and we also still have our lumps, which are searing hot. We might need to heat them up, I can't remember specifically, but I know when it comes to crafting a building that we're going to need a few small nails. So I'm going to go ahead and craft 5 of them. Small nails are a very basic recipe. We have a 100% chance. Oh, it looks like we do need to heat them up. So, our iron lumps have cooled off. All we have to do, throw them back, click and drag, and throw them back in the fire to heat up. Now while they're heating up, I'm just going to go out here, look around really quick. We're in the desert, but I'm going to run and grab another piece of timber. And that's just to keep this fire going. It might not necessarily need it, but I guarantee you that it's always better to have it and not need it. So we'll run while our iron is heating back up and the rest of our ore is smelting down. We're going to get just another round of timber. This fir tree looks perfect. We have a fir forest right there, so we're not taking too much away from nature. Go ahead, we're going to activate our hatchet, and we're going to chop down. And because this is a lumber tree and not a fruit tree, it's going to take a little, we're going to get more wood than we normally would with an apple tree. It's going to take us about the same amount of hits. We'll go ahead, we'll give this an inspect right here. We're going to examine this tree. It's an old fir, so it didn't take too much to bring it down, but we brought it down regardless. Now that we have this felled tree, we still have our axe activated, and we're going to chop it up into more manageable pieces. Between you and me, we only need the one log to keep going, but we're going to just finish it all up, just so we have it in a nice little pile, and maybe the next person that comes through here will be able to use it. Now, in the long-term metagame, if you cut a tree, replace it. Plant the sprout, but we don't need to cover sprout planting until we get this sickle from our quest reward. That'll be a little bit down the line. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. We're going to take it step by step. So, we're going to go ahead, and we got 5 logs in total. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to take the lowest quality log. Now this is 24. This is 24 pounds, which means we're going to walk a little bit slower. And if I remember correctly, the most a campfire or furnace can burn at a time without hitting diminishing returns is 10 pounds, but we don't need to be that specific. We're not looking for efficiency, we're not looking for perfection, we're just trying to get enough done to do what we need to do to build our house. So, I believe it was just this first cave, right? I think this is a secondary cave that we didn't even look into. I believe our campfire's in this first one. We're going to trot around. I don't see any enemy creatures. Let me see, what is that? That's a corpse of a young seal. Obviously, monsters can spawn around. You should always be vigilant. But one of these newbie bonuses up here, is that you aggro less. So don't be too intimidated, but always remain vigilant, especially when that gets when that goes away. We're gonna throw our new log in here. We're gonna keep this fire burning. Let me look what we got. Everything else has been processed. Perfect. So not only we have, it says we have 12 individual items, but one of our lumps is 8 pounds. So even though it's 12, it's actually more close to 20. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab them all 12 individual items, combine them into a single lump. As you can see, it's 19.6. So that's our total weight of iron that we have to work with. We're going to open this back up in our crafting menu. It shows our small anvil in slot 1, so we're going to take our iron, put it into slot 2, and we're going to make, I said 5 nails, but we're going to make 10 in total, just because it's 100%. We can't fail on this. So we might as well, while we're in the process of doing something, we might as well stock up on it, because we might need some more in the future. And between small nails and large nails and building, you're going to need some at some point. So we created some. We'll let our stamina get back. We'll start the next wave of 3. This queue here is based on your mind logic, and that is one of the slowest skills that levels up. I've been playing for about a month, and I still do not have my 4th queue spot yet left. So we're just going to have to deal with the 3 for now. We'll make this last one. We have 6 in total. We'll make 3 more. And once we make this first one, we'll queue up 1 more, and that'll total for 10. Boom. Alright, queue up. We just have to wait, what's it, 30 seconds here. I hope we can manage it. Can we all hang in here together for another 20 seconds while we make the last of these nails here? Because the next step is building our house. Boom, 9 in total. Alright, we have our 10. Our total weight's 35, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this. We're going to bring this with us because it'll be useful in the future. Our total weight's 37, which means that we're way down a little bit, but not too much. We're going to head back to our tent, and we're going to build a proper, as we say in Rust, a shit shack. We're going to build something just to get some walls up and a way to protect the assets that we want to keep to ourselves. As you can see, I'm looking around. I don't see any enemies. I see that this guy is being very protective of his cave for some reason. We're going to walk back to our shed. As you can see, this is a pretty steep cliff. I'm going to activate our shovel so we can examine the slopes. 25, 25. That means I believe 26 is a limit to naturally walk up, so we should be able to walk up this. We don't need to activate climb. If you see anything steeper than 25, you will need to activate climb to be able to navigate it. But we're going to walk back to our tent here, y'all, and we're going to build our house. Now, I'll let you know, we are minimum level. This is, obviously, when you start, you're going to be at the bottom. What it's going to take to construct 3 walls and a door is going to be excessive. It's going to seem like a lot, but I want you to know that once we get past this first step, our carpentry level will be high enough that it will be easier in the future to do this. This will literally be the most time-consuming thing. Building these 4 walls will be the most time-consuming thing that you ever do. The next time you build a house, you will laugh at how much it took to build the first time. But when it comes to building a house, we want generally flat terrain. And when we see a slope 1, this is flat. Most of this is flat. Someone probably had a house here beforehand. I'm going to right click this with my shovel activated, and we're going to flatten this. We're going to just get this even so it's a lot easier because we need a flat surface to build. And you want a flat surface, a mostly flat surface around you to make everything building around you easier. Alright, we have a lot of dirt. We're going to drop this as a pile, not onto the ground. If we dropped it on the ground, it would be buried into the dirt and it would mess up the slopes. So we're going to level this. When you level something, if you're on a flat tile and you click level on another tile, it's going to level that tile to the tile you're standing on. We're going to level this. And as we generate, when we level the dirt, if we're bringing the dirt down, the dirt will be added to our inventory. If we're leveling up, it'll take the dirt out of our inventory. So as we accumulate the dirt, we're going to just drop it all into this pile so we don't be encumbered by what we're digging up. So we have flat. We're going to level this one here. I want a 3x3 flat. That'll be the easiest for our house. We're going to go ahead and level this. But since this is mostly flat already, it's already kind of working itself out. This will probably dig 1 or 2. Alright, there's our 1. Throw that in the master pile. Throw that in 2. We now have a flat tile. We just need to flatten these ones out by leveling. That's level. That's level. That's level. That's level. That's level. That's level. This is level, and then that's level. Perfect. We have a 3x3 of flat tile. We're going to open this. We have 12 dirt in total. We won't be able to carry that much. We're going to drop it as a pile out of the way because right where this dirt pile is where I want to build the house. So we're going to take this and we transferred it. So now all 12 dirt is here. Next step. I'm going to drop, let's see here, drop it. We're going to place our anvil on the ground in case we need this in the future. It's right there. And if you remember correctly, I should have logs in this tent. And we do. They're slightly damaged because, I'm not going to lie, it's been a few days since I've been here. But I'm going to sort these, right, to the least damage. Bring these into our inventory. We can only carry so many at a time. But to be able to build a house, we're going to need some planks. So able to do that, actually, before we build the planks, let's just plan our house. I think in order to plan a house, we need to activate our mallet. This is a house construction tool. So we'll come over to our master flat tile, we'll right click, and we should be able to plan a building. Boom, there's our first step. This is what we're going to build around. We can continue building. If we wanted to make it bigger than this, we add a plan to it. I'm not skilled enough in carpentry to build the size of that structure. That's fine. That's fine. Let's just focus on our 1x1 right now, okay? We're going to open up our crafting menu. And actually, before we build anything, let's plan our building out. So let's finalize. Congratulations. We've unlocked that. This is our final build plan. We could add to this if we wanted to. Let me see. But right now, we just want to add to construction window. No, we want to build. So, there's a few ways to approach this, but the easiest way I found is you have your tile, but each one of these on our tile border is the wall itself of this building. So what we want is one door and then 3 walls. So what we can do is we can come to this first tile border, not the tile itself, but the tile border. We want to right click this, add this to the crafting menu. We want to remove this anvil, we don't need this right now. And we want to put our mallet here, I believe. Now we have a whole bunch of options to come up. The only one that we need to worry about right now are 2. We want to worry about our wooden door and then wooden wall. So we're going to create this. What does it say? You need a plank and large iron nails. We actually need large iron nails. So actually, I thought it was small. But let me do a wooden door. This one needs a hammer, plank, and actually it's large nails, not small nails for these large constructions. I made a mistake, y'all. So let's look at we have the wooden door. What do we need for the wooden wall? Is it the same thing? Is it large nails? It is large nails. So we have our small nails that we don't actually need. Oh damn, and our lumps cooled off. So we'll take our lump. We need to recover from this. We made a mistake, but we can recover, chat. We can recover. We're going to open our backpack up. Unminimize it. Open our tool belt, because that's actually where our carving knife is. Unminimize it. Crafting knife. We're going to make kindling. We have our campfire going over there, but I'm not making a campfire. Or I'm not walking all the way over there just for the campfire. I said we normally make 2, but I'm feeling a little risky. Flint and steel. Double click to activate. Create furnaces campfire. Alright. Are you going to make me carve another kindling, or can we get it first try? We got it first try. Throw our lumps in there. We have to heat them back up. If we want to forge anything with metal, we need it to be at least dimly glowing to be able to mold it. So we'll let this kick off. And if we were pro gaming, we would have done this at the beginning, but we're not. So we're just going to have to deal with this. But while we're waiting for this, we can utilize our time properly. Even though we needed large nails instead of small, and I'll go ahead, grab our large nails, and we're going to throw these in our tent over here as soon as we're close enough to secure them. We will use these nails for later. We have to wait for large nails, but it's going to be a total of, I believe, 80 planks. So let's start working on this right here. We're going to put our logs here, and in order to make planks, we need a saw and a log, and these are 100%. So while we're waiting to make our our large nails, we're going to start making planks. And as we make our planks, we're getting the plank, but we're also getting a byproduct of scrap wood. Now, what we can do with the scrap wood is we can add it to our fire to kick up that heat. Obviously, this is going to take a bit of time, but this is what we're building here is a permanent structure. The reason this takes so long is even though it's a 1x1, if you take care of it, it's going to stay there forever. The point of this game is, if you put time into something, you want it to last. And we want this house to last at least while we're here. So this is an important structure, so it is going to take a bit of time, especially with our low level, to make. So we're going to go ahead, as we keep making our planks, we're going to keep feeding the fire here to kick up the heat. And while we're doing this, we are also working on our skills as well. Our body just increased to level 2, and creating planks is a carpentry skill. So we're actually we will be getting carpentry levels for this, which is very important as it increases our chances to make our wall. And based on everything that we cut down earlier, I want to have more planks than we need, because planks are a pretty basic crafting material. We're out of stamina. We're going to let it come back, but then we're going to go back to plank making. We're going to continue to feed this fire. Alright, so we still have logs, but the weight of the log is less than what is required to create it. So we're going to throw that back in here. We're going to open this back up. I'm going to search by weight. We're going to grab our thickest logs now, and because our level is so low strength-wise, we'll only probably be able to grab, 2. We're going to go ahead and continue processing these. We might be only able to build one wall at a time based on our weight limit, and we'll have to deal with that. But as you can see, our secured tent is right next to where we want to build, so it's not going to be that big a deal. We're going to go ahead, we're going to get our 20th log here. We're going to get a few more because the quality of these logs is bottom, and anytime that you try and build something and fail, it takes a slight amount of damage. So as we said earlier, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So we'll go ahead, we'll kick this up to 25 planks and start working on our first door of our structure. This is going to take the longest amount of time, but like I said, this is a permanent structure and you can lock this door and keep your belongings safe and sound. And as you can see, as we continue to get wood scraps, we're going to keep adding this to the fire to keep our furnace and our metals hot. We have 24. We're going to do this last one right here. And let me see. Our carpentry is true 2, and our miscellaneous items is 2, which is what the saw is classified under. We have our 25 planks. We're going to put our bonus logs back into the tent to reduce our weight. But now that we have all of the planks that we need, let's go ahead, open our campfire. As you can see, our lumps are searing hot. So we're going to take these out, and we're going to make 4, we're going to make 5. We're going to add this to the crafting menu. With the anvil in one slot, we'll put the iron in the other slot, and we'll go ahead and make our large nails. We're going to do 5 in total, and just like the small nails, these ones are going to be 100%. So we know that we're going to make them. So we have 1 with 2 queued up. We hit this button again, we'll get a total of 4 nails, and once this is complete, we'll hit this once again, and so when this is finished crafting, we will have a total of 5 nails. This will be 1 more than we need, theoretically, but as soon as these are done, we're going to start building our house. You can ting along, you can look at your phone, or go smoke a cigarette while you're waiting for this, but once it's done, in the matter of 3, 2, 1, we can get down to business. We're going to keep these all in the inventory, but we're going to go ahead and throw our iron back into the fire to keep it hot, just in case we need it to craft something else. We're going to slowly walk over here. We're going to add this to the crafting menu. We're going to go ahead, the wall, remember, we're specifically putting this specific wall, which is on this tile border, into the crafting menu with our mallet, which is our building construction tool, and we're going to go down and we're going to build our wooden door. Now it says we have a 100% chance. You can't fail on the first attempt, but with every other crafting material, it will take a minute. Remember, we are level 1. Well, technically we're level 2 now. We are level 2. This is the bottom of the barrel as far as skill goes. Boom. Alright, so it's updated to a wooden wall? I thought I selected door. It says wooden wall, but let's see where this goes. Now this is, like I said, this is the longest. You will never take longer to build a 1x1 than right now. This part does take a minute. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to take a while, but you go ahead. We had 1 successful attempt. We used 1 plank out of, and we need 18 more. I'm going to keep working on this slowly. I will fast forward in between the crafting queue part to save time. Booyah. Alright, chat, we're back. I noticed something. Out of the 20 times I attempted that, I didn't fail at all. Maybe it's because I'm on the quest, but I didn't have a failure percent chance. Every time I constructed out of 1 out of the 20, I succeeded. And when you're dealing with your 1x1 on your first build, that's very important. We have our door here, and I'm gonna go ahead. We're just going to time lapse the 3 walls, but this is basically where the video ends, but we'll go ahead and time lapse the last 3 walls, because I'm still going to have to take these logs and we're still going to have to keep making planks out of them. So we'll have to go back to our saw, we're going to have to go back to our crafting window, and we're going to have to keep making planks. So it's basically 20 planks per wall, which is about 3 logs, give or take. It's a log will make a plank weighs 2 pounds, but you'll process 4 pounds per plank. 2 of it will be log, 2 of it will be wood scrap. So you'll get 6 planks per log, or you'll get 6 planks per log. So you'll need 4 logs per wall, and once I get these 20 planks processed, I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to build the walls. It's basically the exact same thing as the door, but you'll just do the wall instead of the door 3 additional times. So anyway, you're gonna see me sawing and hammering a lot, but this is theoretically the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in, and next time you see me, I don't know exactly what we'll talk about. We're gonna get the roof on this bad boy first of all, but we might actually talk about maybe something fun like cooking, because as you can see, my nutrition's only at 50%, and my calories, carbs, fats, and proteins are at 1%. And each one of these stats actually matters when you're doing things in the long run. But anyway, y'all, my name has been Sphinx. We're learning Wurm together, and I hope to see you on Xanadu. And there you go, chat. And there you go. It takes a little bit of time, but once it's up, it stays for a while. Tomorrow, listen, you get the mallet. Check this out. Check this out. Plan. Add to crafting menu. Or we'll talk about floors and roofs tomorrow, but because there's no jump in this game, this basically is a secure building. Congratulations! Just built a house in Wurm. Alright. Next time you see me, we'll cover something else that's important. I don't remember what it'll be, but we'll get there. Anyway, catch you guys on the flip side, or whatever my quote is going to end up being.